Talking about your trauma, about your pain might feel quite soothing, and at the same time, you might actually get empathy and understanding from other people. But you find out that even though you talk about your pain, that does not guarantee your healing. And that is what we're going to talk about today. That talking alone about your trauma pains is not what heals you. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Flourish and Thrive with TA, where we talk about healing from trauma and relationship issues. My name is Elizabeth Akiniyi. I am a certified trauma and relationship therapist, a somatic mind healer, and a CBT coach. And I'm so glad you are all here today. It's been a while. I've been offline for some time now. Yes, I had to be offline because it was quite necessary. It was necessary for my growth. It was necessary for my rest. And during this time, I had a lot of time to rest. I had a lot of time to introspect. And during this time, I was able to take up some courses. And today, I want to say I am a certified and an accredited CBT, a cognitive behavioral therapy coach and practitioner, and I'm also a somatic mind healer and a somatic meditation teacher. You can see all of them all together. So today, in today's episode, we will actually be talking about why talking alone about trauma is not the only way to actually heal from your trauma. It might feel soothing, it might feel relaxing, but you find out that even though you talk about it, you get to a certain stage in time, you might feel stuck. So for those of us who go for therapy and the only thing we do is talk about it, that is not the only way for healing. Some people are not going to like what I'm going to say today, but it is the truth because I actually experienced this. And that is what we'll be talking about today. I'll be sharing practical tips of how I was able to navigate and move past the stage of talking and being stuck and actually started healing. So that is what we'll be talking about today. So guys, sit down, relax, and I'll be right back. So, it's very quite easy. It's so easy to talk about your pain. Oh, I went through this. I went through that. In a world where we are now living now, whereby talking about your pain, being vulnerable is now being encouraged. You find that many people are coming up to the surface to talk about what they've actually been through. There was a time if you talk about it, you'll be stigmatized, but now you can come out and talk about it. So you go to support therapy groups to talk about it. But that is not the final thing that helps you to heal. I said this time and time again, it was actually because I experienced it. I talked about my trauma for years. I kept talking about it, but that did not guarantee my healing. I actually took drugs, but it didn't guarantee my healing until when I understood the things I understood now, and actually moving out from that stuck mode and actually moving into healing and actually becoming free. So it's quite easy. It is the most simplest thing. Although when you talk about your pain, it helps to actually relieve the load of what you've been carrying, that isolation, that thing that you've been keeping in within of you. It helps you to relieve the load that somebody cares about you, somebody wants to listen to you, somebody knows exactly how you feel. It helps you to feel important. It helps you to feel, oh, they can actually feel what I'm feeling, but that is not enough. I don't know, maybe you are understanding what I'm trying to say here. It gets to a stage, even though they might give you the listening ear, you are in the support therapy group, you're actually going for talk therapy, you're going for psychotherapy, your psychotherapist keep talking, and you find out that at a certain time in your life, you feel stuck. I don't know, maybe any one of you has ever experienced that, but I experienced it. I kept talking, okay, this is what I've been feeling, this is what I'm feeling, this is what happened. But I realized that at a certain time, I got stuck. And I was not understanding why I was feeling stuck. There were so many things going on. I started having this overwhelming feeling. Everything was so overwhelming, and I did not know what to do. And the more I felt overwhelmed, the more I kept talking. But I realized that it just didn't help. So I realized that in therapy, a lot of people go for therapy for years. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. They're in that support therapy group, but they find out that they can't go beyond where they are. They are stuck. They are stuck. Yeah, and that is, and I'm going to explain why it is so today. Some therapists, some practitioners might not like what I'm about to say, but I have just had to say it because it is what I have experienced, and I had to take time to find out what was really wrong with me. Would you know, when you talk about your pain, you talk about your trauma, it is a good thing that you are actually vulnerable, explaining how you actually feel. But at a certain time, when you start talking about some deep-rooted things, talking about some deep-rooted pains, it begins to stir up emotions, feelings, and impulses. And if you don't have a therapist to actually guide you to make you understand your emotions or give you emotional awareness, those emotions that come on, those feelings that come on, they begin to overwhelm you. They actually become something that actually keep you stuck because you don't know what exactly you have to do. So today, I'm actually going to share some actual tips. If you actually talk about your pain, you talk about your trauma therapy group, or you talk about with a friend, or you talk about with a therapist, and they just tell you that, oh, you just need to talk about it, and they don't tell you the next thing you need to do, then today I'm going to share some practical tips with you. The things you need to do, the things that I did that actually helped me move from being stuck and being overwhelmed and actually coming into being mindful of myself, and actually moving past the stage of being stuck and actually moving forward and actually moving into healing. One of the things I did that actually helped me to move past just the stage of talking was I became aware. Yes, I became aware that I was actually stuck and that I needed to move. I did not understand what was actually going on. I just knew that I couldn't go forward. It was like there was a barrier. There was a barrier in front of me, and I couldn't move forward. It was like I said, something was holding me back. So eventually, that was when I actually decided, okay, what do I need to do? So when actually going into introspection, I realized that talking about it was not enough. There is something else I need to do that needs to get rid of this trauma or this pain I'm actually feeling. So that is when I went into research. When I went into research, I found that trauma is not only stored in the nervous system, it is stored in the body. It is stored in the body. So when you talk about your pain, you talk about what has happened to you, fine, some of it might dissolve. But the ones that are left in the body will actually come up to the surface for healing, and that is when you start feeling this stuck feeling. So this is the time you need to actually understand what is actually going on in your body. So as a result, I started going into somatic mind healing, and I also started doing yoga to actually help me release all stored trauma in the body. So, like I said, I started doing somatic mind meditation, and at the same time doing yoga. And that was one of the things that helped me to start healing stored trauma in the body. So I started releasing stored tension. And when I realized that, I started releasing those stored tension, I stopped talking less. Yes, there was nothing to talk about again. I stopped talking less because I realized that the things I needed to talk about, I have already gotten it out of my system. So I don't need to talk again. I stopped talking and I started doing somatic mind healing, and I also started doing yoga. So for the next few weeks, I'm not promising next week because I'm actually recovering from a major from a major illness, or let me just put it a major illness. I don't want to talk about that, but I just had a setback in my health and I'm just recovering. So, but once I'm fully recovered, I'm going to actually do some meditation videos and some affirmation videos. It is going to be basically somatic healing, somatic guided meditation to release, to heal trauma, and somatic guided affirmations to release trauma. It is the only thing I'll be doing for some few weeks for now. So now, the next thing you need to do if you feel stuck is you might actually try mindfulness and grounding techniques. Mindfulness and grounding techniques really what it helps you to stay in the moment. You might have been stuck in a certain part. That is the reason why you keep talking about the pain. You can't move past that period of your life. So you actually living in the moment, trying to draw yourself from the past and living in the moment helps you to alleviate and to actually release some of the pain of the past. So some of the grounding techniques you can actually do just be some breathing techniques. Yes, you can do some breathing techniques. There are some that I do for you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, and you release for 6 seconds. And you must also practice a mindful walking. Mindful walking is very, very good. You know, when I started practicing mindful walking, I noticed that I've been staying in a certain area for some time. I don't know so many things going on there. So by the time I started practicing mindful walking, I started realizing that, oh, this exists in this street. This exists in that street. Can you believe that I do not even know the names of some streets until when I started doing mindful walking? I became aware, and I understood, oh, this is the name of this street. This is where this hospital resides. This is where this house resides. And all this while I've been there, nothing. I didn't notice any of these things. And that was because I was all just focused on my pain, focused on what has actually happened few years back. And that was where I was stuck. And the only thing I could do was talk about it. So you can also practice mindful eating. Be mindful of the food you eat. It's not just about you just gulping the food. When you eat the food, try to understand the taste of the food. How does the food taste? From the taste of the food, you can know, okay, there's too much salt in it. It's too salty. It's too sugary. It has too much Maggi. It has too much seasoning. You start being aware of all the ingredients that might be in it because you are giving attention to everything. You try to feel how the body feels when you swallow those food into your body. It helps. Yes, it really, really helps. It is one of the things that help to bring me into the present. And you can also practice another one by writing. You try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can smell, 3 things you can feel. You can just write them down. It is one of those things I do, and I also practice journaling. Journaling your feeling, not journaling just anything, but journaling your feelings and how you feel in your body. Yes. Journaling your feelings and how you feel in your body. These are mindful ways for you to pull out from the past and actually start living in the present. And it has really been helpful for me. It made me so aware of so many things. Made me aware of my body. Made me aware of myself because I realized I had abandoned so many things all just because I was stuck in the past, and the only thing I could do about it was just talk about it. So talking about it is not the best. So another thing you can actually do is that you can actually get a therapist. Yes, find a good therapist. Don't just find a therapist whereby the only thing you can just do is talk. There has to be practical things you have to do. There has to be assignments. If you come to me for therapy, there has to be assignment. There are worksheets. There are works you have to do. I can't do the work for you. You have to do the work for yourself. It is my job to actually listen to you, hear what you have to say, and provide solutions to you. Those solutions are things you would have to do yourself. I can't do them for you. Yes, I can't do them for you. It is not my responsibility to do them for you. I can only guide you. I can't actually tell you, okay, this is how you are going to do it. I can actually, okay, this is the technique you are going to use. It's left to you to do it the way you want to do it. But mine is that you have to have the desired result at the end of everything now. That is mine. So another thing you can actually do is for you to practice affirmations. So when I'm talking about affirmations, it's not the normal affirmations which you just talk about. You just speak and say, oh, I am this, I am that, I am beautiful. No. These affirmations we're talking about, these are practical steps I practice and they work for me. These are practical things you can actually do. This is a way, let me put it this way. When you are practicing this kind of affirmation, your lips are not going to do the talking. It is your mind that is going to do the talking. So you need to be aware of what you want to affirm about yourself. Because I realize that when you are affirming with your mouth and speaking out loudly, it is not as effective when you sit down quietly in a quiet place, your eyes closed, you are in a state of stillness and a state of calmness, and you start reciting mantras, or you start reciting words in within of you. You start affirming those words in within of you silently. Everybody that looks at you look, oh, she's meditating, but you know you are affirming some words about yourself. They work like magic because it goes straight into my subconscious mind and it begins to rewire my mind to think in a positive way. It is irregardless of what I might be feeling. So if I'm feeling disturbed, if I'm having intrusive thoughts, it is one of the ways I help to calm myself. If I'm actually having overwhelming feelings, that is one of the ways I help to calm myself. So when I sit down, I don't just try to challenge the feeling, no. I sit down, I understand what I'm trying to feel, I welcome it, I acknowledge it. And when I acknowledge it, I just sit and observe. I'm not going to fight it. I believe that, like one of the affirmations I actually make is this, that whatever is actually coming up right now in within of me is not a threat. It has come because it is time for it to be felt. It is time for it to be acknowledged, validated. It has come to complete a cycle. It has come for it to be felt and for it to be released. So I acknowledge that I'm feeling it. At the same time, it is going to be released. And I find out that I just separate myself from that thought and just continue to look. And I now think of something beautiful to replace it. And I find out that with time, that thought, that feeling does not have effect over me anymore. And before you know it, it dissolves. It dissolves, it leaves. So that's one of the way I get rid of intrusive thoughts. These are parts of the things I murmur inside of me. Talking to myself inwardly, they help me to come out of being stuck. And sometimes I practice somatic guided meditations. Like I said, I'll actually be giving somatic guided meditations here on my channel, but it's going to be in some few weeks time. So I do those guided somatic meditation on my own, and they help me to release any stuck energy that might be stopping me from moving forward. So when I started doing all this, I stopped talking more. Even when I go see my therapist, we don't talk 100 or for a very long time, because I have learned to master and to understand the techniques that will actually help me move out of talking and getting stuck. So as in all conclusion, like I would say, it is good to talk about your pain, but that is not where it stops. You need to put in extra work. So make sure that you come out from just talking and start healing. Talking about it might feel good at the beginning. You might feel released, but there's some trauma energy that might get stuck in the body. They get so stuck in the body that the only way you have to pull them out is for you to put in extra efforts, extra extra work, and talking alone can't actually solve it. So in that situation, you need to practice other techniques to actually release the stored trauma out of your body. So guys, we've come to the end of today's video. I hope you got value for your time. I hope everything I've said so far resonated with you. If you love what I do give this video a thumb up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel Flourish and Thrive with E, and turn on the notification bell to get new updates when I make a new video every week. So guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week when I bring another episode on this channel. I remain your host, Elizabeth Akiniyi. Have a nice day. Bye bye.